Yo, 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 what is going on, everyone? How the heck are we doing today? What up, Roses? What up, Mark? Hope everyone's having a beautiful and amazing day today. It is... Wait for the exposure to fix itself and turn in auto. It's so bright in this full screen camera. Oh, it's because my window's open. Hold on. That might help. What's going on, everyone? How we doing? It is September 20th, 2025. Welcome to another If You Know, You Know. It is, as always, some Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo time. Let me fix stream. We were doing Trojan X earlier. You have no idea how much I miss these If You Know You Know streams, Noop. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out. Make sure you hit that like button. I miss these so much as well. And genuinely, like, I am more than happy to get back into it, without a doubt. It's so nice to have Jujutsu Kaisen back, regardless of what, you know, I know there's plenty of things that, you know, people are saying, that people are, you know, complaining about. But if I have to be completely honest with you, I'm not mad at all to have the GOAT back. And as always, we are going to get into pretty much the entire chapter today. We have the lovely and amazing TCB Scans that did a translation for us. But as always, I have to make a reminder that we do support the official release out here. So support the physical release, support the digital release, get a Shonen Jump subscription, a Viz Media subscription, do what you can to support the release and support the original, you know, product. This is not a market substitute. This is all for commentary and review purposes. But guys, you know, let's address the elephant in the room. First of all, we'll pull a poll while we're waiting for people to all show up here. What do we think about the chapter? I'm going to give you guys a couple different options here. We're going to do, of course, the 10 out of 10. We are going to do 7 to 9 out of 10. 4 to 6 out of 10. And then 1 to 3, which is the worst it could possibly be. I'm genuinely curious how the community feels, because as always, the people in the comments are always going to be the loudest minority. It stands to reason that the community probably does not hate this chapter as much as most people are screaming in my comment section. We all understand it's chapter 3, right? Hey, what up, Morningstar? How we doing? I'm glad you liked it. Mario forgot about the new chapter. Yeah, honestly, it'd be like that sometimes. We forget that we get Jujutsu Kaisen content now. It's been so long. Yeah, it was definitely kind of slow. Definitely a little slow. It is, I mean, it's what I loved about this chapter is it's a great way to have Tsurugi and Maru not only settle their differences very quickly, but to show the kind of world that these Jujutsu sorcerers are going into. Like, not for nothing, I want to know what Tsurugi and Yuka's day-to-day is kind of like, because that's what Maru was originally assigned to do, no? Maru was originally assigned to just accompany them on regular investigations. So obviously that's what we would start with. I've seen some people be upset that, you know, we're not getting more focus on the underworld of Jujutsu society and like the human trafficking side of the energy business. But like, there's still plenty of time that we can get into that. I don't think everyone should look at the 3-volume estimation as like a deadline or a countdown to where like Gege's not going to have enough time again to get into all of the story beats that he wants. Like, I think Akutami knows exactly the kind of pace he wants to take the story on, right? I could be wrong. It's not a good chapter, but it's not bad. It's a chapter I can go without personally. I mean, what this is it's a chapter to bring everything together. I saw a comment on my second channel, which, by the way, go support the second channel if you haven't already. Someone was like, oh, compare this to the first 3 chapters of JJK, and you'll see exactly what I mean by how bad this is. And like, I'm sorry, but like, if we're being honest here, the first 3 chapters of JJK are kind of almost exactly as, you know, okay. What's chapter 3? Chapter 3 is Yaga, the introduction of Masamichi and the cursed puppet. Like the first 3 chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen, if you want to say it's an interesting concept, sure, but are we ever going to be able to get another as good interesting beginning to Modulo? Like we don't need to know what cursed energy is. We don't need to know what cursed objects and spirits are. We already know all this stuff. Do the aliens possess cursed energy? Yes, they all do. If you want my honest opinion, getting into Jujutsu Kaisen, I thought the first 2 episodes were decent. Like Yuji, I think the first episode of Jujutsu Kaisen was good. I think the second and third episode with Nobara and Masamichi is okay. I think Fearsome Womb in the school, in the juvenile detention center, is actually really cool. Actually really cool. I actually think Fearsome Womb arc is like fucking amazing. But then it kind of teeters off, and I didn't really like it until Junpei died, and then I was locked back in. But yeah, Junpei like dying was my like lock-in point. Yaga chapter was good. Oh, I don't think it was bad or anything like that, but it wasn't like the greatest thing in the world. I mean, like some people are really expecting, you know, hidden inventory. But you know what? That's the thing, right? Is like whatever this story ended up being was never going to satisfy everybody. Because I think at the point that we're at now with Jujutsu Kaisen, I think genuinely, like if hidden inventory came out with the community as ravenous as it was today, people wouldn't like hidden inventory. Started fucking with JJK after Mahito was revealed to be a psychopath? Yes, sir. That is 110% correct. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. They can complain all they want. They're still going to read it weekly. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. They will still be there every week. Guaranteed. Without a doubt. I'll say it. I said it last stream if you were here for the vertical stream yesterday, and I said it to Tiberius. Gege is still on his fast pace, you know, storytelling. He really is. And people don't even realize how quickly paced his storytelling is going already. People don't even realize how quickly they're being filtered down the line of stories. People are saying that like this chapter was filler and it accomplishes nothing, but not only does it accomplish like the Maru and Tsurugi conflict and, you know, give like an established base level of what you could expect these sorcerers to be dealing with. It's all done in 1 chapter. This could have been 3 chapters. Right? Like the opening of this chapter, and then it could have been, you know, the man-eating shark. We meet all of the locals and we're investigating, and the chapter ends with Maru and Tsurugi talking, and then the shark breaks through, and it's like, continue here. And then we go to the next chapter, and then we deal with the shark. We find out it's actually a humanoid shark who's just conjuring a shark form. And then, you know, we have literally the, you know, the tiger, and it's just all crazy. It's so funny to me. It's genuinely so funny to me. That like this could have been like a 3-chapter arc. Drag it out One Piece style, literally. Do you think Gege will go beyond his intended length? He might go. I honestly think with Akutami at the writer spot, I honestly, genuinely believe most likely he's already got everything mapped out at this point. He doesn't have to worry about drawing. All he has to worry about is writing and mapping everything out, storyboarding everything, and just making sure the creation and the integrity of the series is correct. And then Iwasaki Yuji basically just has to draw it all. So like I think with Akutami being able to just focus on creativity specifically, I think he's already probably got most of where he wants to put everything mapped out. This reminds me of that one chapter where Yuji and the gang were going after the big-eyed guy. Yeah, just genuine shenanigans, what these people would be doing on an everyday journey. Not too high stakes, but people are still at risk, you know? I wish UGK had more chapters like this, especially post Shibuya and Culling games. Yeah, no, this is exactly what people wanted. This is exactly what people wanted and were complaining about, literally. Which again is super duper funny to me. This is what people said Jujutsu Kaisen didn't have, was character interactions. But now people are complaining that Akutami's wasting time on character interactions. He should focus on the ideals and philosophies of the main cast. That's definitely what he's doing. I mean, we basically learned so much about Tsurugi and Maru, not just this chapter, but last chapter as well. Just like in that quick discussion of Tsurugi and Maru's values and what they believe is important. We get to see so much about what they care about most. Tsurugi doesn't really care too much about, you know, the disrespect. He cares more that Maru withheld his power and wasn't willing to save the kid sooner. And Maru reveals why he didn't do that, because, you know, he also has stuff to lose by using it. It's Gege, so it wouldn't surprise me if somehow this chapter will become crucial to the story. Exactly. Gege does not, you know, do things for no reason. This is clearly going to come back and make the relationship between Maru and Tsurugi stronger, and it will be, I'm sure it will play into how they interact with each other later on in the series, without a doubt. Do you think Rika's still in the ring? I think there's a really good chance Rika could still be in the ring, genuinely. I think, especially because we haven't focused a lot on Yuka at all. I think there's going to be a major story beat for her in regards to the ring. There has to be. It's been set up completely, and there has to be a reason why the Gojo clan didn't want Yuka to have it. Like, I think it has to be more than Tsurugi has heavenly restrictions, so he needs the ring more than she does. I think there's something a little bit more to that, for sure. I'm just taking a look at the chapter here. Damn, they're literally talking with one another through like telepathy. Like, that's kind of crazy. Like, the technology is insane. If you look at this, like, she's literally talking and on the phone with Tsurugi, like, by just like holding like her temple. That's some kind of that's some kind of technology that I need, genuinely. Can't really see any purpose for the ring being this big if Rika isn't involved. I like the ring being a thing because one, it's the one and only connection both of them have to their grandfather, right? And the fact that it has now become a piece of conflict between the two siblings has given reason for them both to grow up in their own way. It set them apart. It's very, because at first, you know, you figure the way they were raised, they might be very, you know, similar. Despite the fact that they have different, you know, sorcery powers, they could be very similar personality-wise. But of course, because they have that split when they were younger, they both have worked hard and developed themselves in different ways entirely. Who will use the ring, the boy or the girl? So far, no one's used it. I mean, I doubt Tsurugi's going to use the ring specifically, unless he puts it on and he actually gains access to real sorcery. That'd be kind of crazy. I wonder if Yuta's copy was imbued in that ring, like how Donami's technique was imbued into his sword. It's interesting to think of, because Yuta gave the ring to Yuka before he died, so she had it for a decent amount of time, right? Maybe it was to protect her. I'll glaze anything Gege writes, despite its flaws. I thought the ending was peak. Yeah, again, I love Akutami as a writer. I think he deserves less, you know. I don't think he deserves as much flack as he gets, without a doubt, you know. I think everybody is upset because of the guy in the shark costume. This just seems like such a meme chapter. It seems just like such a meme chapter, and I think that's also what everyone's issue is. It really does seem like a little bit of a joke. All right, the one and only Xavier. You showed up last stream and you did that, and we timed you out for 24 hours, and then you show up and you come back and do that. I don't know if you're a bot. I don't know if you're doing that on purpose, but I apologize. You have been voted off the island. We don't know how long it takes for a curse technique to be fused into a weapon. To make it a curse tool, it takes at most 10 years since not anyone was using his cleaves since hidden inventory. Well, I mean, as far as like putting Nanami's like curse technique into the cursed object, Nanami died in Shibuya in October and they had that set by December, so it only took about 2 months, you know? Total drama type shit? Yeah, definitely super true. Definitely total drama type of shit. Do I think one of the brothers will die to get the full power? You mean like, will Yuka or Tsurugi die? I mean, that's a possibility. I don't know if Tsurugi's heavenly restriction will play in the exact same way, because they're not twins. I believe Tsurugi is actually supposed to be older. Oh no, Maru and Cross. Actually, that's interesting. That's a really good point. I really don't know. Twins are interesting. Twins are interesting in Jujutsu, and I would be interested to see how the twin brother aspect plays upon 2 sorcerers instead of, you know, 2 restricted twins. Wait, they ain't twins? No, Tsurugi and Yuka are 1 year apart, I believe. Nagata is awesome and funny. I wonder how he ended up on the mountain. It's always nice to see how other sorcerers are involved. I mean, is like I said, like you said, Morningstar, isn't this exactly what other people wanted? Like maybe quote unquote you could call it filler, but it is sorcerers exploring other sides of the Jujutsu world that we never really got to see. Yeah, I'm just taking a look at it, and listen, it's a simple chapter. I think it's completely okay. I'm not mad at it whatsoever. Who's stronger, the brother or the sister? That's a good question. It seems like they had that small little, you know, that small little scrap in the first chapter, and Tsurugi was able to, like, you know, throw Yuka into submission, but we don't know if that's actually, that they weren't actually both trying as hard as they could. The shift in themes and the type of storytelling we're used to seeing in this universe, I think it was needed in order to bring a new feeling to the story and set it apart from JJK. I completely agree, Kobe. 110%. I completely agree. Kind of feels like Cross will have a Geto kind of perspective on all of this. He will want their kind of reign supreme or something like that. Yeah, Cross definitely seems like he's someone that doesn't know if coexistence is completely possible. I think the problem people are having with this filler chapter is the fact it's going to be significantly shorter than the mainline series. I agree. I agree. This old man may be relevant to older lore drops. I'd have to wait and see. I know he's 46 years old, so he would have been born. We have got a 68 year time skip. He's 46, so he would have been born 22 years after the original timeline. What if there's another time skip? I would believe, I think there might be another time skip. It wouldn't surprise me. I thought there was going to be another time skip after chapter 2, you know, when you have that moment where Tsurugi and Yuka are both vowing, like, we're not at the power we need to be at yet, but we want to become our grandparents, you know? So I definitely think there's a possibility of there being another time skip. It might not happen right away, but I think there's a good chance there might be a time skip as another one, a Morning Star. I completely agree. What I will say is it's very funny that when you think of Akutami does his best to be as transparent and honest as possible, and I think that's what always shoots him in the foot. I love Akutami, and I love a genuine, you know, artist that's willing to be open and, you know, real with their fans. It doesn't upset me. I appreciate it. Some people, I think, see it as just don't take that nuance with it. Like Akutami sharing that this might only be 3 volumes was him just trying to be honest and say, hey, you know, he wanted to set expectations for everybody. And everyone now is taking it as like, oh, he's only got 3 volumes, like he's rushing everything, like he's not gonna be able to fit the amount of story he wants. Everyone is taking it the completely wrong way, whereas he's just trying to say, hey, this is gonna be a simple story, it's gonna be set in a new era, and I want to make sure that this story does not do anything to meddle with the original mainline series. And yet people are definitely just, you know, they have definitely just shown their true colors. The tiger on the manga, that's Toranosuke, the you know, illegal tiger that became a monster. This better not be a wasted manga like the ending of JJK. I don't think it's going to be a wasted manga whatsoever. I think this manga is going to be a nice little spin-off, and I'll enjoy it no matter where it goes, to be completely and wholeheartedly honest with you. How do you think Sukuna would react to the idea of an alien being as strong as him and maybe stronger? I mean, I think he would be happy to see, you know, a real challenge. I think Sukuna would be excited if he woke up and there were aliens. You know, if Sukuna woke up 60 years later, I think he'd be pumped. He'd be like, oh shit, everyone's super strong. Looking at this panel, I would have never guessed this was remotely related to JJK. True, though. Very true. Oh, shit. Did the tiger become aggressive because it had a cub? Maybe it was trying to find food. Yeah, I think so. That seems to be the case. Sheesh. I think the biggest thing is like Tsurugi and Maru dealing with their differences in this chapter. I think that's really the biggest thing that happens. One, you see that Tsurugi is able to learn that Cross exists, which is big time. That's very important. Big time important. And two, you learn why Maru didn't save the child at first. His technique is shared with his twin brother, which is insanely in an interesting. I'm excited to learn way more about, you know, Maru and his twin brother's abilities, because again, we've seen how twins can affect the Zenin siblings. How do twins affect the aliens? And he even says, you know, I hesitated because I figured if my brother thought I was forced into using the technique, he would think Earthlings are, you know, bad people. Which we show, you know, Cross definitely does not like Earthlings whatsoever as it is. We need a Jogo return. I do think this manga has potential. I think we should wait at least until chapter 8 to 10 before we start making big denominations like, damn, this story is just a spin-off filler manga and there's not going to be any huge story, you know, plot beats or anything big happening. And even if that is the case, I'll still be covering it and I'll still be enjoying it. That's not gonna turn me off. You know, again, I think Gege tried to set the expectations of the series from the beginning. It's just a lot of people aren't following it. It's like Cross is just waiting for a small reason to take over Japan. Yeah, literally. The whole chapter is an exploration of coexistence using the tiger by proxy. Yeah, and the tiger is really good, right? Because you figure... Man and Tiger is a great, you know, mirror parallel, if you think about it, because right now, with the way that humans are, they don't stand a chance against the aliens. Just like most humans aren't going to stand a chance against a tiger. So like, but at the same time, you know, coexistence, if you really want to coexist, there are things that have to be made. But at the same time, it's also what Maru says last chapter to his brother. You know, there are good people and there are bad people. Torinosuke, the man-eating tiger that they just had to kill, may have been bad due to the things that it was forced to do. However, the baby cub being raised with humans might have a different chance, right? Who's to say that that will become evil? You really don't know. It's clear Gege's focusing mostly on the coexistence side of things with aliens and humans. Can humans and aliens coexist? And what needs to be done for humans and aliens to find coexistence, the hard work that needs to be done for this to happen. That is clearly what Akutami wants to explore in this story. And I think people that aren't able to come to terms with that aren't going to like it. How do I think aliens would react to Gojo versus Sukuna? I mean, they would be like, damn, those motherfuckers are strong, probably. I mean, if you have aliens that are Sukuna level, I mean, they would definitely probably appreciate raw strength. Should have challenged them to a game of baseball? Or you mean basketball? Isn't that what the Looney Tunes did? Is that what Space Jam's about? Where's Michael Jordan when you need him? I'm trying to see what the alien boss power is looking like. Yeah, it would be interesting for sure. The one thing that I think is very apparent is that right now there aren't any characters in the series that would be able to deal with a Sukuna level threat. So I think it's important to realize, like, if we are going to get some big all-out brawl with, like, that, you know, alien demon thing, it's not going to be anytime soon. Maru as Sukuna's reincarnation is an inhuman alien trying to connect to learn to love humans to coexist. Hey, you know what? I don't know if any of these characters are reincarnations of others. I think that would be interesting. I don't know if that's the case, though. I know people have been wanting that since the very beginning, so I'm not gonna fight against it. I'm just very curious to see. Was Tennigan an alien? I personally think it might be possible for that to be, you know, a great origin story for Jujutsu Kaisen of how cursed energy came to be. I don't know if that's what we're going to get, though. I really don't know. It's hard to tell. It'd be crazy if the horned alien came to be by the Sumerians optimizing their cursed energy and having their own merger. The Sumerians who couldn't resist merged with the horned alien. Huh. Hey, listen. If the merger is revealed to have some kind of connection to aliens, I think that would be fucking awesome. Sukuna said in his death chapter he was going to live a life embodying Yuji's ideals. I don't know if Sukuna said that. I don't believe that's what he said. But I could be wrong. It's a decent interpretation. I still love that Mahito showed up. Yeah, if there's a next time, maybe I'll change how I live. Yeah, I don't think he said he was gonna live like Yuji, but... I love Mahito, but then I'm the only unruly child left. Ah! I love that Mahito had something to say at the end in the final chapter. Mahito's one of my favorite characters, dog. Your favorite curse technique? Mine's Yuta. I'd have to say my favorite curse technique overall is probably Idol Transfiguration, man. That's one of the greatest curse techniques of all time. You'll never be able to convince me otherwise. You will never be able to convince me otherwise. I'm telling you. Like, there aren't 50,000 Sumerians literally, but they're counting the ones merged with the horned alien. Oh, damn, that's pretty crazy. Yuta should have died when he switched with his brain with Gojo's body. Hey, I'm not. I honestly, I don't agree with. No, I do agree with that. I don't disagree with that, is what I'm saying. Because quite literally, like, I also think Yuta should have gotten some kind of ramifications for fucking, you know, almost literally sacrificing and taking his brain out of his body. What he suffered no consequences from that. He's got some gnarly stitches, but it doesn't matter because he already had a wifey. He doesn't have to go play the field with stitches. What does he have to lose? Mach is gonna accept it no matter what. Imagine if Sukuna teamed up with the Alien King. Seems the aliens don't have curses. Yeah, because you know what? That's also an interesting point too, Morning Stars. It seems aliens don't have curses, and honestly, that's probably because, excuse me, the Sumerians are probably, if all of the Sumerians have sorcerer abilities, they're probably the exact civilization that Geto was going for, a world with only sorcerers. No one is leaking their cursed energy, so curses don't exist. I like the slow started showing the characters and how they are, and I think that's nice. Completely agree, Roses. Completely agree. I'm on your side, 110%. I'm with you right there. Alien King's the only one with a vertical eye. True, dude. The Kaguya, the infinite Tsukuyomi eye. But very quickly, what I am going to do is I am going to go on right before I do, I'm gonna go on to a chapter summary. I'm just gonna basically review the entire chapter as a whole. Off top, but dude, why does YouTube place ads on live streams? I miss big parts of the live every time that happens. YouTube is very weird with the way they do ads on live streams. I don't say what you will about Twitch, but at least Twitch like gives you the option of when you can set ads. Like you can set them like every hour on top of the hour, or like. Also, what I like about Twitch is if you become a member of somebody, you don't get their ads, with like the Twitch Prime. So like, yeah, I personally don't like the way that YouTube does ads for live streams either. I really don't. I think they need to fix that or do it more like what Twitch does, where like I can set the ad and then I could do one like every hour on the hour or every half hour or something like that, and then at least you guys will know when they're coming, and you guys, like you said, you guys don't lose large portions of the stream, you know. I agree with you. Anyway, y'all, like I said, I'm gonna get into the chapter summary, just going over everything that happened and my own interpretation and what I thought was most interesting about everything. If you want to support the channel in any way, shape, or form, what I do recommend is I just want to say thank you to GamerSupps, the sponsor of the stream. GamerSupps, great energy supplement, no sugar so you don't crash, great great vitamins, nootropics, all that good stuff in it. I'm gonna go ahead, put the link in chat. Go ahead, use my code NOOP for 10% off, or go get some free samples. Use my code anyway. That's gamersupps.gg/NOOP. Use my link, use my code, 10% off your order, or free samples using my code, and literally they'll ship it to you for free, all that good stuff, I'm pretty sure too. So that helps. Every order helps support the channel. And again, even if you're not able to spend the money, if you don't want to spend the money, you've never tried GamerSupps, use my code anyway, get some free samples on me. That still helps support the channel anyway. So link is in the pinned message. Go support the channel, helps a lot, guys. Thank you so much. And hit the like button if you have not already. That also really helps the stream as well. Like button helps the stream more than you know. You think domain expansions will play a part in this? I don't know if we have any sorcerers that are even capable of domain expansion. From what it seems like, this is the weakest generation of sorcerers so far. If an alien pulls out a domain, we might be cooked. Everyone probably has anti-domain measures though, especially Tsurugi. He probably has got simple domain. We know he's got, quick draw, Bato's sword drawing. He's probably all Kusakabe style. Anti-domain expansion, elaborate. Like anti-domain measures, simple domain, falling blossom emotion. The shark's gonna, Nagata's gonna pop a domain. honestly, what would be really cool is if some of these side stories, like if we go through a couple side stories for the next couple of chapters to start the story off with, is if all of the sorcerers that we do meet up across the, you know, country end up meeting together for the end of the series for like one big Avengers Endgame kind of ending. That would be pretty cool. Since Mei killed the woman hoarding the new Shadow School techniques, they should be mainstream techniques now. Yeah, pretty much everyone knows them for the most part. I keep seeing theories that Sukuna will come back through his last finger, but I'm pretty sure that Sukuna was removed from the finger. Well, I think there is still one last Sukuna finger that exists. I think there's still one left that was put and used as a cursed object to ward off spirits, but I don't know if that Sukuna finger will come into play. It might. There's still one left technically. And they also have Sukuna's corpse that they're using to hold up the pure barriers, I believe, as well. So who knows whatever even happened with all of that, right? Literally. I want to believe in Nagata, but he got no diffed by a tiger. Sukuna ate his corpse, right? But didn't they say they were using what was left of it to hold up the pure barriers? Or am I crazy? Or am I confusing the end of Jujutsu Kaisen with the end of Bleach? All right, cool. I'm not crazy. They'll find Dagon's finger. Hey, Sharkman will find Dagon's finger. Let's go. All right, y'all. I am gonna get into the chapter summary, like I said earlier. Again, thank you all so much if you are hanging out. Appreciate you guys. You guys are all great people. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. It helps the stream way more than you know. Let me actually see. Let me finagle this around here. Set chat underneath my video capture. Perfect. I come back and the stream ends every single time. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. We're doing the chapter summary. We're just doing the chapter summary, and then I'll be right back. We'll be right back. I'm just doing the chapter summary. No worries. No worries. Okay. Oh no. Hold on. There we go. Cook King, he says. All right, man. It's crazy. Like the stream now, or you're a rotten egg. I like the way that Kobe thinks. The art is not that bad. No, Yuji Iwazuki is doing actually a really good job with it. I'll give him that for sure. So things are going to be done a little bit differently this time, but I hope that is okay. As always, we are getting into a new chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo, and you know what? I have to say, it has been too long since we have been into some Jujutsu Kaisen controversy, and I have seen so many mixed things in regards to this chapter in general. People saying that it's too filler, with only having 3 volumes left. We need to focus more on important story beats, and also at the same time, we are spending time on characters that it seems like a lot of people aren't too keen on, right? Despite the fact that Yuka and Tsurugi are Yuta Okkotsu and Maki Zenin's grandchildren, they aren't the characters that we know and love more than anything, in the world from the mainline series. And I think while some people definitely can have their criticisms, I think with the way that this story goes, it's very clear that this is what a lot of us have wanted from Jujutsu Kaisen from the longest time. Very simple, very small scale stories that show how sorcerers, peruse the world of cursed spirits and monsters and solve simple issues. And sure, we may not be dealing with a specific cursed spirit right now, but it does show you the small level of incidents that Yuka, Tsurugi, and sorcerers today are dealing with. We already know that everything in this specific generation has gone down in hostility and danger because of monsters like Sukuna, like Gojo, Yuji, Yuta, and Maki all no longer existing. So overall, with sorcerers decreasing in power, cursed spirits are also going to decrease in power. And something that we learn from this chapter specifically, actually, that I think is very interesting. Oh, hold on. I need the panel. I'm missing the panel. Something that does happen that's very interesting in this chapter is that Maru, the alien, does not know what cursed spirits are as they are kind of filling him in on the mission. Because again, something that was established from last chapter is that Maru is going to be accompanying Tsurugi and Yuka on their simple missions in order to help establish alien coexistence, which alien coexistence does seem to be the major focal point that Akutami wants to focus on in this story. However, there are some interesting things that arise from Maru not really knowing what cursed spirits are. And it makes sense. If Sumerians are a race of aliens that all are sorcerers, every single one of them, they are pretty much the exact civilization that Suguru Geto was chasing after in the mainline series of Jujutsu Kaisen. A world of only sorcerers where curses do not emerge from the negative energy leaking from non-sorcerers. So that's a small little interesting bit of lore that kind of gets snuck under the rug here. And sure, this is a perfect way to introduce the concept of curses to people that didn't read the original story. For people that did read the original series, that's a little piece of information that we get. And of course, we know that Tsurugi is feeling some type of way from the ending of chapter 2 when he met with Cross, Maru's twin brother that he didn't realize was his twin brother. And Cross, as we kind of figure out in this chapter as well, does not think aliens and humans are able to coexist, while it is primarily Maru's utmost objective to ensure that aliens and humans coexist. And that's the major highlight of this chapter, is even if you want to say that the shenanigans with the tiger and the shark man are filler and they hold no relevance to the main scale plot, while I do think Akutami does a great way of tying everything back into alien and human coexistence by the end, we do have a conversation between Tsurugi and Maru where they're able to finally confront their beliefs and their differences head to head. Because again, Tsurugi feeling some type of way in regards to the way that Cross treated him, and also considering that if this is the problem of a cursed spirit, quote unquote, this is the first curse, the very first incident to occur outside of Tokyo in years. And again, with the weakening of sorcerers and curses, that makes sense. But Tsurugi is suspicious, and most likely a lot of other people are, considering suddenly the moment that the aliens show up, curses or monsters are appearing outside of Tokyo. So Tsurugi, now, feeling that he's justified, is accusing Maru and his alien friends of invading, and this is just the very beginning of the alien invasion. And this creates a major argument between these two characters where they're finally able to, by the end of it, understand one another to a certain degree after they see the length that each person is willing to go to. And this conversation that they have after the end of the tiger shark shenanigans shows how Tsurugi is willing to grow and consider new perspectives. Because Tsurugi isn't necessarily judging Maru because he's different than him. He's not judging Maru because Maru has power. He's not judging Maru because 50,000 aliens are looking to embark on Earth. He's judging Maru because when they were fighting that curse user and when human lives were at stake, human children, Maru waited until the last absolute second to reveal his curse technique. And that bothered Tsurugi. And even though Maru says he was just following orders, Tsurugi says if orders are more important than human life, why would he trust Maru? And in this moment, we give these two characters a chance to learn from their mistakes. Because once the shark shows up and it's revealed that the shark is not a shark, it is another sorcerer named Osada, or Nagata, whatever translation you're going into. Specifically, this former sorcerer in the countryside has revealed that the actual monster isn't a shark. The actual monster is a man-eating tiger that was illegally traded and poached into the area. Osada, Nagata, whatever translation you're using, is very familiar with the tiger and knew it as a cub and was hoping that this cub would, grow up to be a good tiger. However, because of solar panels being invented, it dried up the entire area and it reduced the tiger's prey, which made them go down to the village to seek new food. And of course, as they were all seeking new food, the old men and the villagers saw the tiger, saw the shark, and ended up thinking that they were a problem. However, the issue is the man-eating tiger is a hostile beast, and it will kill people if left alone. That is something that cannot be forgotten, because even though Osada, Nagata, the Shark Man, as I'm going to call him for the rest of the video, goes to find Torinosuke, sees his blood, and ends up being tricked by the tiger, almost dying. Thankfully, Tsurugi's able to push him out of the way and end up fighting the tiger. Here we get a small little flashback of the younger Osada Sharkman meeting the tiger and the cub and the tiger's mom. Meeting the tiger cub and the tiger's mom. And remembering this small little cub and its innocence, he does his best to try and look past the man-eating tiger's crimes. However, Osada realizes that not a shred of that innocence remains. Looking at this tiger now, it is an evil beast and must be silenced. And as Osada Sharkman cries, he says, just make sure you take it out as quickly as possible. And Tsurugi is more than willing to oblige because that is his job as a sorcerer. But what this actually does after all of this is open Maru's eyes to how aliens and humans see one another. Because even though a lot of people may say that this tiger shark shenanigans had nothing to do with the main plot, what it does is act as the perfect allegory for humans and aliens. If you really think about it, I've mentioned multiple times that humans are very weak in this generation. It's very apparent. I don't know if anybody on the living world today will be able to handle the Sumerian threat that is on the level of Sukuna. However, just like Sharkman and the tiger cub. Coexistence is hard work, and while it might not always work, there are good people and bad people, just like there are good tigers and bad tigers. Toranosuke, the man-eating tiger, may have become bad and off the beaten path after being separated from humans. However, its child, its cub that Tsurugi and Maru find, may have a chance, after growing up with humans, to coexist, find common ground, and live. And while that is definitely an allegory for, while things may be tough, the first generation of integration, as the youth, new people are born that are a part of this society and all integrate together, they will always have a better chance than people that aren't able to see eye to eye and grew up apart. However, at the same time, that means those that are a part of that beginning generation of integration need to be completely honest with one another and need to be open and real with one another, which is what Maru realizes after this incident. And after this, Maru reveals his secret that he probably shouldn't at any point and says, hey, I was assigned to retrieve information on whether or not we can coexist at all. The reason I didn't use my technique is because it shares connection with my twin brother, and my twin brother would have known that I used the technique and could have given him a bad impression of humans if I used my technique immediately on our first mission. Not only does this, clear things up in the air for Tsurugi to realize that it wasn't Maru that he met that last day, it was Cross. It also changes Tsurugi's mind into thinking that, you know what? Maybe the aliens aren't invading us, and maybe we should give this coexistence thing a try, even if it is tough. Symbolized by when they find the tiger cub that emerges from the bushes after they killed the mother or the father Toranosuke. Instead of killing the cub as well, like Tsurugi originally tells Sharkman they should have done way back in the day before it got this bad, Tsurugi gifts the cub to Sharkman and says, this time, don't fuck up, basically. And when Maru asks, Tsurugi basically says, hey, you know what? No one knows how it'll end up. There's no guarantee that that tiger will become evil again. It could, with, the love and appreciation of Sharkman, it could completely, grow into a fun and loving and great tiger. And Tsurugi, now realizing how the aliens and humans kind of parallel him and humans and the aliens, he says the same is for, us. No one knows what will happen, but we have to at least try. We can't immediately look at each other as enemies from the beginning. And I completely agree with Tsurugi. And though this chapter ends, I think through this, discussion, it's very clear that this chapter does have overall meaning, not just for the characters, but for the plot of Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo. I know a lot of people might not be excited about it, but it does seem like Gege is going to focus a lot on this coexistence story. How will humans and aliens be able to connect and immigrate together with this power imbalance? Remember, Yuka and Tsurugi and all of the sorcerers today are not strong enough to handle a Sukuna level threat, meaning unlike the mainline series, unlike what happened with Yuji and Gojo in the Culling games, instead of fighting to the death, how are we able to stop a threat like this? Wouldn't that have been what Gojo and Yuji from the very beginning wanted? I know a lot of people have said that this generation fucked up and our mainline series protagonist fucked up by creating a world that didn't change, but not only does the world not change in a single regime, I will say that maybe the Sukuna level threat being quelled by Talk no Jutsu might be exactly what Gojo and Yuji might have always wanted to begin with, as opposed to throwing hands. But that's all I have to say for this chapter, guys. I will have to say I'm excited to see where Modulo continues to go. I think this is exactly what a lot of people wanted out of Jujutsu Kaisen, despite the bad taste that are put in a lot of people's mouths from the beginning. And until we get to like chapter 8 or 10, I think we should withhold some of our biggest, craziest criticisms and wait to see where Akutami and Yuji go with this story. But until then, guys, If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the hype button, and I will see you guys in the next one because there's plenty more Modulo content coming, and I will see you guys there. Peace. And that is the chapter summary, guys. That is the chapter summary, everybody. I did not end stream yet. Let me check and see some of these chats that I might have missed. Hot take, I low-key like this art style more than Gege's. I wouldn't even be mad at you for saying that. I think Gege and Yuji Iwazuki have both their own styles. I think Iwazuki doing his best to kind of also follow with Gege's footsteps. I think it all works out perfectly. I don't think that's crazy at all to say. Now, the world also reacts to changes in the balance. Gojo's birth resulted in a lot more curses to spring up and to balance the scales. Now that the aliens have arrived, how will the scales rebalance? I completely agree, Kobe. I think that will be an issue. I think that will be a big problem. I think that will be a big problem for for people to deal with, big time. Do you think Takaba ever made it? I do. I have faith in my boy. I have faith in my guy. He definitely made it without a doubt. You know he did. You know he did. I promise you he did. There's no other acceptable futures. You think Maru, Yuka, and Tsurugi will go to Tokyo, a way to see the aftermath after all these years? I'm sure we'll see. I'm sure we'll see plenty of the new world. I think 3 volumes, even if we go to 4 volumes, I think we will have plenty of time and ways to explore every aspect of the world. Tokyo's been brought up multiple times, so I think Tokyo will be a big part in the story. Wee Wee potentially could come back for sure. I mean, Wee Wee would be what? He was like 10? 68 years going by. He'd be like 70. He might still be alive. It's possible. He might possibly still be alive. Maybe he died young. Who knows, dude? Being the major CEO of a company brought him to an early heart attack. Honestly, you never know. But I have to say, it seems like, 50% of the poll out of 86 votes, 7 to 9 out of 10, and then another 31% are given a 10 out of 10, which means only 18% of people think it's a 6 out of 10 or lower, which is just proof that, yeah, the community speaks for itself, without a doubt. The community always speaks for itself. The community always speaks for itself. I'm also hyped to see where this goes. Do you think we'll see more aliens out of the 4 we've seen? I definitely think so. I think towards the end of this series, we'll definitely have a fight with an alien at some point. I think the Sukuna level threat getting introduced was not introduced for no reason. Maybe the ring at the very end of the story comes into play, and that's how we level up our 2 fucking characters. Maybe Tsurugi and Yuka sap out of Rika's energy, and they're able to reach enough level to impress the Sukuna level alien and, hold him off for the time being. Maybe Yuji is still alive. Who knows? I don't know if any other characters will be making a big, integration into the story. I really just don't know. I wonder if we'll see another foreign sorcerer like Miguel. It's possible. I feel like there needs to be a time skip so they can get stronger. Yeah, I also agree. What made the aliens leave their planet to go to Earth? Yeah, that's another good point as well, ZX4. I think we need to learn that because Maru clearly makes it obvious this chapter they didn't come here because they wanted to. There was definitely a reason why they left. It's a really good question to ask for sure. Very important question to ask. But yeah, I mean, if the barrier is no longer up in Japan, does that mean cursed energy spreading across Earth and more sorcerers would pop up outside of Japan? I don't think the barriers have collapsed yet. Possible the aliens might collapse the barriers. That might be a fun part to the story. Have you finished reading it? I'm late, so we weren't actually reading. We were just kind of going over everything. But yeah, no, we are gonna end stream probably in the next couple of minutes. Just because we don't, I mean, like right now, because we're only in chapter 3, we really don't have much else to talk about besides just speculating where this series could go, you know? The VOD will still be available if you want to watch the VOD for sure. You know, I'm not going to take the VOD down. But yeah, I mean, we've kind of talked mostly about everything we really can in regard to this chapter. We just have to wait and see where, you know, this goes. We haven't even gotten, I was trying to tell people, to be honest with you, you know, in my spoiler summary, which was, you know, we haven't even really gotten a major plot development yet. Like, for people that are saying, like, oh, this is filler, like, we don't even have a plot that we can really, like, push aside to have a filler story. You know, we're not even that far into the story yet that we can have that. So, yeah, I'm definitely excited to see where we continually go. Again, even if we do slice of life for the next couple of chapters, I won't be upset. I think exploring this new future world and seeing what Yuka and Tsurugi deal with is important. But knowing Akutami's pace, we won't be doing stuff like this for long. We'll be moving along very quickly. Again, I think Akutami's pace is very present even in this chapter alone. So. No, barrier did not break. Barrier did not break. Like I said, you could we finished. We did a whole chapter summary. Also, not for nothing, I will be posting the chapter summary on my second channel. So for anyone that misses the streams or would rather just get like that section put together separately, I will be posting my chapter summary on the second channel in actually like probably like an hour or two. So definitely look out for that. It's exciting being at the beginning of the story. The speculations and theory crafting is so much fun. I completely agree, Kobe. That's definitely my favorite part of everything as well. I completely agree 110%. 100p. 100p. But anyway, y'all, I'm scared because the story could be short. Now, I don't think we should worry about the shortness. I think Akutami will give the story exactly how much time it needs, without a doubt. I don't think we're gonna get it cut short at all. I think Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo will finish, and I think it will blow us all away by the end. I've got good hopes and good high expectations. If I start getting worried, that's when you guys can all start getting worried. But right now, I'm not worried. No, but seriously, guys, I love and appreciate all of you guys. As always, you're all great people. I'm sending you spirit bomb energy as always. If you haven't already, like I said, I just posted my second channel. That's where the chapter summary will be. I'll post that in a little bit. I do also post, you know, Chainsaw Man, you know, Gachi Akuta, Don to Don, Sakamoto Days, Kagurabachi. I post everything all on that second channel, so go subscribe to the second channel if you want more content. And also, not for nothing as well, there's some great videos that I just recently posted. So please, if you are interested, go check those out as well. Yuji versus every Upper Moon, ranking every Demon Slayer Infinity Castle fight. I even posted a video ranking a bunch of crazy theories that could happen for the future of Modulo. So go check that out. How strong is the Jujutsu Kaisen sequel trio? You know, go check out all of the, the new videos if you're missing them. And again, thank you so much to Gamer Subs as well for sponsoring the stream. I drank all my Gamer Subs. It is delicioso. If you're looking for good flavors, again, Jojo Stone Ocean Fruit and Klaxosaurus Blood is really, really good if you're looking for anime flavors. But if you're looking for separate, Raw Meat and Acid Rain, two delicious fruity flavors. Go check them out. Use my code NOOP, 10% off your order. Or again, if you've never tried Gamer Subs and you're scared to spend some money on something you never tried, use my code anyway. They will send you from some free samples, and using my code get you free shipping. So yeah, code NOOP, 10% off or some free samples. Gamersubs.gg/NOOP. Link is in the pinned message. And guys, I will see you all in the next stream. Much love. Sending nothing but spirit bomb energy out. If you don't think anyone's in your corner, I am in your corner. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Hit the like button on your way out. Peace.